Sorry about the delay. I couldn't see the little red record up there, and I didn't know it was going. Anyway, it's March the 2nd, 3rd. What is today? I think it's the 2nd. Got my trusty old rising. Yeah, it's the 2nd, the 2nd. And sometime in the last few hours, my president signed that sequestration thing. They'll seize our assets. You know that word to me doesn't really fit what's going on. Like I said here a couple times ago, I looked up sequestration, and it's the seizure of assets to pay a debt. Yeah, I don't know if that's a real good definition of what they're actually doing. They're cutting back on government outlays. I think some of them need to go back to grammar class and find out just what words they're using mean. Get the heat there, it's a little warm. It's been a week. Nothing much happened. I observed a couple of dissertations on the YouTube here. Folks going on about their First Amendment, Second Amendment rights, how they're scared to death that they're going to be taken away from them. I have had something happen to me that's kind of ticked me off. Something fierce. I'm sure that you've all experienced it. It's cash flow to and from banks. Have you ever noticed, you get down to your Friendly Wally World or Joe Blow's hardware store, you use your debit card, zing, and you pay for something, and the money comes out of your account in milliseconds. I mean, man, it's just done. I mean, they're supposed to get their money. Now, I have a situation where I have funds that are transferred from one bank to another. And those funds are released by one bank on a particular date. And I expect them to end up in the other bank by another date. I'm not going to go into it, the details of it too much, except that it doesn't happen in milliseconds. In fact, at this juncture right now, I think they're into the 5th day. Yeah. They're into the 5th day. It hadn't showed up yet. Of course, my question is, where is it at? How much trouble can it be? It's my intention to get down to my friendly bank, the receiver bank, tomorrow, and say, what in the flame is going on? Why haven't my funds appeared? It's my money. I have to assume it has something to do with interest. I mean, I don't know this, but any time that or business holds money over here, there's got to be a reason for it. Years past, there was a certain amount of interest for the funds that they had under their control during the time that they had it under the control. It generated interest. It might have only been minuscule, but it generated interest. And I got to believe that something along those lines going on with my money. And it's not a fortune, but it's, I want my money. And I'm going to go down and rag on somebody. And I'm going to give them the millisecond thing. When you want my money, it's instant. Well, actually, it's my money, but when my money passes through your hands on the way to me again, There ain't no, isn't any milliseconds. It's just, well. Anywho, I was watching a fella. He's a friend of mine. He's a nice guy. And he was kind of going on about his First and Second Amendment rights. And he is very upset that our present president, black president, either has or will in the near future do away with all his First and Second Amendment rights. And of course, conversation we've had, I say, what rights have you lost that you know of? And First Amendment rights. I'm going to read this. I've got it here. Where'd it go? The First Amendment prohibits the making of any law respecting the rights, establishments of religion, impeding the free exercise of religion, abridging freedom of speech, infringing on the freedom of the press, and interfering with the right to peaceably assemble. I haven't seen anything along those lines where any of that's been changed. Free speech, you bet. You're pretty well welcome to say anything you want to. Let me see here. This doesn't read like I'm. Well, I had something. I should have underlined it. Should have underlined it because one of the things that it referred to was sedition. You don't have the right to yell fire in a theater. That's not for part of my freedom of speech. And you don't have right to openly encourage, a revolution. It's just not part of it. It's not part of your freedoms of speech. And aside from that, I can't see anything that has been impinged upon. Nothing. Second Amendment. Now, all these guys are just absolutely in a lather. But President Obama is going to decree that we'll all have to turn our guns in. And of course, I haven't seen anything like that either. Now, there is a movement afoot in the country to maybe kind of slow down the expansion of these, the use of combat rifles, assault rifles. And I kind of agree with that. Fella sat down here one night and he brought up a bullet and he said, I made this bullet. I didn't make these bullets. They probably came from China. Let's see, I have 6 rounds of 30 ammunition there. Used to be 10. And there were 2 sliders in there, so I had 20 rounds once upon a time, and I've gone out and done a little plinking. These things are expensive. I mean to tell you. But my premise is I have a lever action Winchester. But it's more than adequate. Somebody comes in my house, starts assaulting me and mine, my trusty lever action Winchester will get them. I mean, that make a... I think these are hollow points. Yep. Dum-dums, as I say. I didn't buy them for that. They just came that way. if I haven't got them, I think that thing holds 11 rounds. If I haven't got them stopped within 2 or 3 rounds, I'm in deep doo. It don't matter whether I've got an assault rifle or what I've got. He just, they're gonna get me. So I don't need an assault rifle. This little darling will do everything that the Constitution allows me to do. I mean, I can kill him dead as a hammer. Here's my special. That's a good one there. That's a in the house killer. That's of course that's 20 gauge, but I mean this thing's impressive when it goes off. It sounds like a stick of dynamite. Go through a wall in a house. Somebody coming down the hall, bang! I hit them. Now, I'm not nearly as versed to an old boy having a set 12 pump 12 gauge. That's just bigger edition of this. But my premise is that that's all I need. I don't need a bazooka. I don't need a fully automatic 50 cal. And I don't believe when they wrote that Second Amendment to the Constitution, the Founding Fathers gave us a free and open right to have anything up to include, thermonuclear weapons. And some guys, I swear, they'd do it if they could. That's what I need. I mean, I'm an old man. I got a 20 gauge, 4-shot pump, 20 gauge rifle. And if I haven't got them stopped with that, I'm going to be dead anyway. And I think that just a free and open, endless amassment of rounds and the panic that people seem to be incurring, that if they just don't have limitless access to ammunition and stuff, then they're in dire danger. And they believe it too. They think they are. They think the country. If I can't have 10,000 rounds of 30-06 over here in a closet, then my rights are being infringed on. Well, I guess if I want 10,000 rounds, I guess that's my right. But I can't think of anything less worthless. Then I'll go back to freedom of religion for a minute. These guys are talking about, they've taken the Bible out of schools. Well, the United States was, it wasn't necessarily established as a Christian nation. The United States, most of the people that came to the United States were pursuing religious freedom. They had been persecuted over in jolly old England, and in the Netherlands, and in Germany for their Switzerland. They were persecuted for their religious beliefs, so they came to the United States because you were free here to believe any way you wanted to. Well, if you look at the fellas now, the people now, the groups that are going on about loss of religious freedom, what they're hollering about is that they want their version of Christianity read over the loudspeakers in the schools in the morning. They want the King James Bible read out of. That's not religious freedom. That's theocracy. That's you believe the way I believe, or you're going to hell in a handbasket. At the moment, the only religion that I could conceive of putting any restrictions on would be the Islams, because there's a faction of the Islams right now that you've heard me say they cut your head off with a rusty knife because we are the great Satan. All right. Well, when they started believing and practicing stuff like that, then they've lost their freedom of religion, as far as I'm concerned, this country, until at least some of them stand up and say this isn't right. And I don't hear many of the people in the Muslim religion say, well, it isn't right. They don't say anything. In fact, in some of the countries overseas, they get out in the street and cheer when they see a tape of some poor boob losing his head. So I know when the towers came down on 9/11, they were just happy as a clam. So maybe the Muslims wouldn't get quite as much freedom from me. I don't know how I justify that in my mind, but it's just they scare me. But the segment of people in this country that are screaming that they're losing their religious freedom and they're active in politics and they're just going on predominantly are the Baptist, Church of Christ, your Pentecostals, and by golly, they want the country to operate not on sheer law like that. They want it to operate under their law, which principle is the same. They want everybody in the country to, believe the way they believe, and they want it taught in the schools. This business about, fiddle. Boy, I'm getting old. Can't remember my train of thought. Anyway, they want it taught in the schools that the world started 5,000 years ago with Adam and Eve, and if you're not doing that, you're ungodly and terrible. Anyway, I've already been rambling this morning. Haven't had a whole heck of a lot to talk about. I'm gonna go battle with my bank in the morning over the money. It's funny how money will get people up off their hindsight. It gets me up. Got my ammunition out here and showed it to you. I'm a good Second Amendment guy. Like I say, it doesn't give me the right to have a bazooka, though. All you folks up in Siegel North, save me a place at the table because we're going to be on our way here. It's time's coming. Counting down 90 days now. I haven't heard from David Berg. I haven't talked to him. I'll probably call him tomorrow. As far as I know, he's on the mend. I guess I'll just shut her down. I've prattled on enough. You folks, let's see, I got Glenn and I got Ike and I got Brian and my sons, Carl and Kyle. I don't think Josh be watching it. He's down in Lufkin. Say hi to all you guys, and like I say, maybe I'll do that. I can't find my instruments here. Maybe I'll do this again tomorrow if I can get my thoughts collected a little bit. But I try to do it once a week, and this week it's just slow. Anyway, took time tonight to print out. Probably got 100 pages there on or about the First and Second Amendment, the Constitution. I think it's time that everybody really starts studying and finding out what it really says in these documents. Because a lot of people are real misinformed. Anyway, have a fine one.